I realized how every exciting thing that is happening in my life, my dreams, goals, plans, comes with a big fat but. I want to get out of that loop. Planning a birthday trip, but it's too expensive. Chasing a goal, but it's too out of your reach. Oh, something like that. But. I want to get out of it, and I figured out a way. So recent realization. I've realized that all my plans, dreams, goals, wishes now come with a but. I've started thinking in terms of what will go wrong, or what will the problems that will arise, or how this could be something that I'm just dreaming too big. I've realized that I've started putting myself in a box. I'm not letting my thoughts flow freely, or not letting myself dream big, or I'm not able to listen to my intuition right. And I want to change that. So my birthday is coming up and I want to plan a trip. Now, most times I used to be able to decide. I used to know where I want to go, what I want to do. But this time, I'm just so confused. Whenever I think of a destination or an experience that I want to have on my birthday, it is coming with a big fat but. This is the place I want to go to, but here you have been before. This is the place that I want to go to. The weather is not nice. Oh, this is the place that you want to go to. Oh, but it's too expensive. And this but is trying to overpower through all of my thoughts. I realized that's not me. That's not how I used to think before. I'm glad that I could understand this pattern that has suddenly come up and I could acknowledge it. But see, this but is something that has to go. It has to go away. I've noticed my pattern, and that awareness that has now come up is very powerful, right? Because now I can consciously work on it. I've realized I'm doing this and I'm going to consciously shift my pattern. I have to break this pattern of the but. So the first step that I would do is change the but to and. Now I'm worried about my plans. Instead of adding the but everywhere, what I would do is I want to go on a birthday trip and I would figure everything out, or and I can figure everything out for a goal that I want to achieve. I want to achieve this goal and I'll figure out a way on how to upskill or how to achieve this goal. This is going to keep my dream or keep my goal there while also acknowledging the hurdle but not creating like a major blockage. It is acknowledging it and figuring out a way to cross over that hurdle rather than getting stuck and not going across that path just because of that small hurdle on the way. The second would be to anchor in my positives. Like, for example, when I was consciously thinking of all the no's, I'll think about the pros that are there, or what are the support that I have from my people, from my friends, from my skills, from my thinking capacity, everything, right? So, for example, if I'm thinking about all the hurdles, I sit down and write a list of all the pros that are there, or all my supports that I have that are already working out in my favor. Who are my supportive friends and family? What are the resources that I already have in planning my trip? Or what are the past times that I have that already figured this out before? Or what are the past experiences? So giving myself that proof that I could do this because I've done this before. It will give me that evidence of that I can handle this situation, or I can cross this hurdle that I'm facing. The third step would now be giving yourself that dream space. I would say that I would give myself that space to dream big. If there was no restriction, what would I want? Let go of that restriction, let go of that fear that is consuming me, let go of all the buts, the negatives, everything, and just dream big. Write down, sit down carefully, and think of all could go great. What do I really want? And think big. The fourth step would be to make it bite-sized goals, right? Now that you've thought of this huge, big dream goal, think of the smaller steps that you can go, right? So, for example, now if I want to plan my birthday trip, I would first decide on what kind of vibe do I want? A beach, a mountain, a resort, a hostel. What is the vibe that I want? Once I finalize that, then I finalize the 2 or 3 short destinations that I have. Then I finally figure out the travel plan only for these. Then I figure out the logistics only for these situations where I can go. So what I'm doing is now, instead of looking at that big huge picture and thinking, oh my god, how am I going to cross this? Break it down into small bite-sized pieces where you can process the information, and then these all hurdles that you were thinking of something very huge looks very small and bite-sized. It will give you that confidence. Oh, it's just one thing that I have to figure out at one time, and then you move to the next, and then you figure out, and then you move to the next. What will also happen with this step is that you will start feeling lighter, and you will not have that whole burden of that huge problem or the hurdle that you were thinking about. And then the fifth step would be trusting your past self. So remember, you've written down one of the incidents that you did before. So think of those incidents and think about the times of how you handled that situation before. Give yourself that trust, your confidence, and the proof. Train your mind to think about the positives and think about how you can, because you have done this in the past and you have achieved this is how you can do it now also. uh, what I feel is that in situations like these, your brain also goes back to thinking of the times that it didn't work out, but then train yourself to come back to think about the situations where it worked out in your favor, or how you overcame those hurdles, and how things have always worked out in your favor for you before, and how when you look back the dots connect and things have worked out great, and you're here today and you're still planning a trip, and it says something. It is uh, talking about your experience, your resilience, your capability, your thinking capacity, everything, right? So you have to make your intuition, you have to trust your intuition. You have to start giving your brain the way to think big, think, understand your past self also, and just dream big. I think in the end, everything is in your head. If you think you can do it, you're going to do it. If you think you can't do it, if you think about all the problems, you're going to land up in problems. If you think that, if you train your mind to look at the positives, you're going to see the world in that way. But if you just keep looking at all the negatives, you're going to land up in a negative situation. It's all in your head. And this fear that is coming up, this the but is that is coming up, it is just your cautions, your brain telling you about what ifs, and you just have to tell your brain that you know how to handle it and you've done it before, and you have to make sure that you rewire your brain and come out of that loop that you are in. Okay, we'll do a quick recap. The first step, reframe the but to the and. Then second step, look at all the positives that you have that are working out in your favor already. Then the third step, dream big. Give yourself the space to dream big. The fourth step, make these into bite-sized goals where you can process it lightly. Then the fifth step, trust yourself. Give yourself the examples that from the past where you've achieved this, right? And this eventually is going to help you come out of that but and take you to an and situation. Okay, that's all for this video. Thank you. Bye bye. See you.